Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. So what have you been up to as of recent?
Honestly, I don't know why, but I am going a little ham on Christmas. I
As
think
you
just
should.
'cause, yeah, I think it's just like a joyous, positive thing to look forward to,
Right.
even though I'm not gonna see my family or anything like that. I'm wrapping them presents for when I get to.
Eventually,
That's,
right?
yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing is wrapping presents, and then I've been working on I'm a painter, watercolor painter. So I just moved to Portland recently, and I'm getting my new studio area all set up and just started painting yesterday.
It's going pretty well, yeah? Portland is a nice area.
I love Portland. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, you're originally from up there, right? Around those parts, yeah?
Nope. Cody from the Clams, is from up here, but I'm actually from Napa County, California. I'm a California girl all the way.
Very nice. Do you see yourself returning down here at
Yes.
all? Okay.
I mean, someday. I don't know. Wait, where are you?
I,
Where's
I-
down there?
I'm also in California, Orange County. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably. I mean, both my parents live there, all my brothers live there, my sister lives there, at least visiting a lot. But I like Portland a lot.
right. Yeah. Is it I mean, if not giving too much information, but where you at? Like west side, east side?
Right smack dab in the middle, like
Right in the
where
middle.
north becomes south.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Very
Yeah.
good. So I wanted to get into it. I haven't heard this answer to this question, but where did the clams come from? That the term. Why did you stick with that?
I don't know. I hate that name. It's so stupid. Basically, it started off as a joke because I was a solo performer at first. I would just play bass and sing. And I thought it was funny because Shannon and the Clams, there's, no one else there. So I thought it was funny. And then I got convinced to play a house party at Cody's house before I had him in the band. And I was too afraid to play alone in front of all my peers. So I got a band together for this house party. And then after that, it just kind of like took off and was immediately too late to change the name. And now I just don't even think about it.
I like it. It's got a good ring to it. It really does. But
Thanks.
but that's just one man's opinion.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So how did you get started with the bass? You said in another interview that your ex-boyfriend gave it to you. Is that correct?
Yeah, my high school boyfriend. We're still friends. In case everyone's dying to know.
Oh, we are. We are.
Yeah, yeah.
All
So
10 people who listen to this are
yeah.
would just get in my DMs and say, "Hey, why didn't you ask that question?"
Yeah, he gave it to me in high school. And I remember at the time just being like, oh, couldn't believe the generosity, first of all. And second of all, not knowing what a bass was versus a guitar, like not being able to look at it and tell. And then also just feeling like, why did he give this to me? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm not one of those special people that plays music. So I was very detached and had no hopes or dreams of ever playing it, which is funny now in
Yeah.
hindsight. But yeah, actually he came to a show of ours in Spokane last year or the year before. And I think that was he's only seen me play like maybe one time, but we've been friends since then. So it's kind of interesting.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, that just must be crazy from his point of view too. It's like, wow, this was a great gift to bestow.
I know, and I'm really glad I waited a long time to start playing it, because when I got it, I was listening to a lot of um, I think he wanted me to be like the bass player from Coal Chamber or like from White Zombie, and
Right.
I was really into like System of a Down. I was really into Slipknot and like you know, I mean, I was into all kinds of music, but at that time, oh, Deftones, I was like diehard Deftones fan. So it's like good that I marinated a little bit longer and kind of refined my true taste. But you know,
Will you ever make a Slipknot-esque album? I think that everybody would love to hear that.
you know, who freaking knows what the future holds? Who could have predicted 2020 as is?
Sure, sure. I mean, I think that'd be a great way to round it out. Is a Slipknot cover by
Yeah,
Shannon and The
I
Clams.
mean, he's very melodic,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, definitely. So you waited. You waited. How long until you started picking it up?
Like 10 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I got it when I was 15 and I started playing when I was 25, 24, like just messing around with it. I had just moved to Oakland and started college. Um, just like new city, no money, zero friends. I moved there with some troll and and we just had like this dramatic breakup. So I really knew nobody and was like so poor I couldn't even afford to get myself to school. So I usually have to walk like, I don't know, sometimes an hour and a half to get to school.
Wow.
And like just kind of like having a really rough time. Remember one time my apartment completely flooded and I had no electricity and I lost my keys, you know, just like kind of being at the deepest, most bottom I had ever been in at that point. And just kind of noticed the bass one day, like sitting in the apartment, no electricity, and seeing it and being like, oh, that fucking thing. And like went and pulled it out and just didn't even have a tuner. What, you know, I didn't really even, I don't know when the first time I ever tuned was. Because like when I first showed the songs to people, to Cody, he like helped me tune and like taught me how to tune it. But otherwise I would never have had any idea. Didn't even really know that we were supposed to. My eldest brother had a guitar and I loved like twisting the pegs and he'd get so pissed off. And now I understand. But as a kid, I didn't understand. It's like pegs are for twisting.
That
Anyway,
is what they do. I mean, technically you are correct. That is
I'm
what
right.
they're made to do. Yeah.
That's right. I'm going to call him and tell him that, you know, maybe he'll forgive me.
We'll send him the
But,
link to this podcast, and he'll
oh,
know. Yeah.
yeah. So then I mean, I actually just like pulled it out and started like writing a song.
And what did that song ever come to fruition on an album?
Yes. Or it came out on like a singles tape. I think we had it on our very first CD and it was on our MySpace page. Um, but yeah, it was called Cat Party.
Okay.
It's real stupid. Um, it was our like MySpace hit at the time. So like hit, I'm talking about like 40 people knew it or something.
That's still a hit
And
in my eyes. That's, I mean, you're on cloud nine with
yeah,
that many views,
that's right.
listens.
Yeah. And then it was like years later, I realized that I accidentally stole the bass line from Disney's Aladdin. And
They're really cool with cease and assist. Like they won't mind. It's fine. Disney,
yeah,
they're not. Yeah.
they haven't got me yet. But since you're in Orange County, I'm a little concerned that someone's going to leak this information.
I'll be honest. Walt Disney does listen, and but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll deal with that later. We'll deal with it when it comes.
Okay.
Anaheim's just down the street, so it's fine. It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll send them the address for the mail.
Okay.
But I mean, so what really got you into your true, as you said, true musical taste? Like what was the first inclination? Like, oh, I like this sort of music and I want to make this sort of music.
Well, I think when I was like referring to all those bands, actually I saw the Deftones a few years ago. I went to Riot Fest by myself to see the Misfits reunion. And I watched the Deftones and Rob Zombie. They played on stages next to each other. Very good. Like the Deftones, it was actually really effing good. So I shouldn't like, knock on other bands. But at that time in high school, I mean, like you start trying to figure out who you are starting at like age 8. You're trying to figure it out. Like, where do you fit in? And at least I was like that. And I think it just took me a long time to be like, because I was like, oh yeah, I love Cold Chamber too, or like Corn rules, and write it on my backpack and white out. And it just took a while to be like, do it? I don't even like that. Why am I pretending to like that? Who thinks I'm cooler because I like that? So it took a while to start kind of like putting on that cloak and then taking it back off and then figuring out what I really like. And what I really like is oldies.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up listening to. That's what I still listen to. It's some of the best music ever written, like, I mean, oldies is a huge umbrella, there's like so many genres within that umbrella, but I think that the main thing that comes through is songwriting and vocals.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I mean, and I think that's why I liked stuff like Deftones, because he's singing, he's not like screaming and rapping like Limp Bizkit. You know what I mean? But I loved that. And I loved Slipknot. And I think it's the same thing. It's because I think I was drawn to like emoting using their voices. And then I also got into punk late for me, but it started with like do you know Red Cross?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I bought. I was at Burger Records quite a few years ago, and I was like, oh, like okay, Red Cross. I was like, all right, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Like I know the guys from. I mean, they've gone on to do other things. Didn't know about Red Cross as much. Good band.
Right. Great band. Yeah, great guys too. At least the ones that I've met, the brothers, and Steve has become a buddy, which is crazy to me. But we in my hometown in Napa, it was just like boring, nothing for teens to do. So back then we would go to the video store and just like peruse the what's it called? What's the funky section called? You probably don't even know. You've probably never been to a video store.
Listen, Shannon, I'll tell you this. I grew up on Blockbuster. I wasn't a Hollywood video
Okay.
guy. All right.
All right. Okay.
I
Hollywood
may
Video.
I may look young, but I am 54. Okay, like
Oh
I'm
shit.
aging real well. No.
All right. Bless you. You do live in Orange County. You have a lot of access down there to youthful, serums and things like that. So nice work.
There was before.
Before, yeah.
Before.
Well, then you ought to know it's Hollywood Video in the cult classic section.
Sure.
We would just go and browse for like the craziest looking video, and back then you found out about stuff through finding it, or like looking at magazines or getting clearance CDs from the warehouse or whatever. So I found that movie, what's it called? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember right now.
Taxi Driver.
No, I did that too though. But no, it's the one with Red Cross with Steve McDonald. The Dolls one.
Dolls.
Love Dolls. Desperate Teenage Love Dolls. Have you seen it?
No. I will be seeing it now though.
Yeah, you should see it. So we found that it looked really shitty. It was like part of the cover was hand drawn and there was some like fuzzy photos and we're like, this looks perfect. It's about this like all girl band that it's like at the Santa Monica Pier, and I don't know, they kill a girl's mom because she won't let her be in a band. Anyway, Red Cross wrote the music. Steve McDonald's like in it. He plays this really sleazy, hilarious character, and it's like really like home video. It's like some funky teens in the 80s got together and made this stupid ass movie, and I loved it. And it was honestly one of the first times that I'd seen like a punk band and that I'd seen girls playing music, other than like Dolly Parton or Patsy Cline or Reba McEntire or something like that. Like just girls being like, whatever, I'm just going to play this thing. It doesn't matter if I'm amazing or not. I'm just going to like, I like this song, I'm going to play it. So that was just a concept that had never crossed my mind before. I always thought you had to like have this special thing or be extremely naturally talented to play. So I just always thought that was not my world. So to see these girls like have fun just playing music, you know, even though the movie was like, you know, supposed to be a comedy and stuff, that still did reach me in a way. It's like, wait, they're cool. And they're not like, you know, like she's not a great bass player. She's not, you know, it was just like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Right. I understand that it's doable.
It's doable, and it's like
yeah.
opening this other world. Like, oh, so I could just like fuck around if I wanted to, and that, you know, that would be fun. So just like started planting these seeds pretty early. Yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about. I just like went for it.
No, but that was a good story. What I wanted to say was, Shannon, that it's interesting that you talk about your high school years and how that formed your music choice, because I distinctly remember being in high school, walking out of my math class, and my good buddy Ian Weir walked out of his computer science class. He's like, "Hey, I found this new band called Shannon and The Clams." He's like, and this is like a great album. You should really take a listen to it. And I did, and it's just amazing that you have that story and I have that story about you, and that
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's just crazy.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
yeah, and then
Love
further
to
down the
hear it.
line, he would we had tapes that we'd play camping, you know, and one of them was your own, and I just remember getting drunk and just listening to the tape over and over, because we only had like 4 tapes, you know, like maybe like Minor Threat, the I'm blanking on the name, the one with the green background. What is that one called?
Sleep Talk?
Yes, yeah. That
Or
was the
there's
one.
two. There's also Gone by the Dawn. That's green as well. It's my favorite color, you know.
Well, I didn't know that until right now. So it's just so crazy that you have that story, and I have that story about you. I just wanted to mention it. I thought that you'd like it. Clearly, you didn't, but it's fine.
No, I do. It's really cool. I mean, it kind of makes me feel old, but I am old now. You get old. I did, actually, it's funny you brought up tapes and camping, and I can't stop bringing up MySpace over and over and over again, but I was
They're a
camping.
sponsor of this show, so it's fine. We got to plug them anyways.
Good. Let me get to all my old photos, MySpace, please. I know there's more than the 5 I've harvested.
We're gonna talk to Tom about that, and we'll have him help you out.
Oh, poor Tom. Well, he's probably a billionaire.
He's everybody's friend. What do you? Yeah, I mean, he's got friends in high and low places.
That's true.
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
But anyways,
So,
camping tapes.
I went camping this summer with my friends. We did very socially distanced camping. So I was whatever. I was walking around one evening collecting sticks for a fire later, and I heard this song floating out of someone's like camp area, people I didn't know. And I was like, oh fuck, I love this song. And I was singing along, and I was like, oh my God, this is one of my songs. And this is not even from an album. This is from a freaking MySpace like version that we put up online. So then I was like spying on these people because I just assumed I knew who they were. I didn't. And then I was like, these are strangers. They're fucking with me. They probably saw me earlier and wanted to fuck with me. So I went up to their campsite and I was like, hey. And they were like, oh, hi. And, you know, it's COVID, so we're really far away from each other, which adds to the awkwardness. Well, I don't know if it would have been more awkward if I was really close or if I was as far as I was. Either way, it was very awkward. I made it so much more awkward than it needed to be also. So anyway, I'm like, hey. And they're like, hi. I'm like, just like, I keep just pointing. And they're like, what? And I was like, are you fucking with me? And they were, what? What'd you say? And I was like, are you guys doing this on purpose? And they were like, doing what on purpose? And I was like, playing this music. Are you doing this because of me? And they were like, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? And I was like, oh, this is my band. This is Shannon and The Clams. I'm Shannon. And they were like, what? Then they were kind of like embarrassed because then they thought they were awkward, but I'm the one who made it awkward. I was like, you fucking with me? Or you're doing this because of me? The one other time I did something stupid like that and it just did not go as planned was I was in my hometown at a coffee shop in my hometown. No one knows who I am unless they're my old high school friend. Otherwise, no one remembers me. No one recognizes me, which is, kind of fun. But then if like one time I walked by someone in a Shannon and the Clam shirt and it fucking blew my mind because I didn't know them. I was like, what are you doing in this town? And anyway, I was in line at a coffee shop actually with Cody Clam and they're playing a Clam song. And I got all like, whoa, I don't know anyone who works here, but that's so cool. They're playing. I wonder if they like, know I'm from here. So anyway, I get to the cashier and I just do the stupid finger thing again where I'm like, hey. And she's like, hey, what can I help you? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, what can I get? You want a coffee? What's going on? I was like, whoa, sorry, this is our band. And she's like, I have no idea who this is. Can I help you? I was just like, damn, that was like a burn.
Ooh.
It's like, didn't even give a rat's ass who she was playing over the speakers.
Those are two incredible stories, Shannon. I really that's so insane.
People.
First of all, the camping one is just that's crazy. That's
I felt like they didn't believe me.
Yeah, but how could you prove that? I mean, how could you even? I mean, you couldn't, right? Unless you started singing right there, right?
Well, they'd have to pull up myspace.com.
Okay, yeah, sure. It ended up being Tom. It was Tom that was playing that song. That's
wow,
crazy.
Tom really changed.
Well, I mean, when you have a lot of friends, you just gotta spend your time accordingly.
It's very true.
You can't lose those friends. Wow, that's insane. That's a really crazy story. Wow, two crazy stories.
I'm full of them.
That's way more than I give to this podcast. I appreciate it. That's why I had you on.
Oh.
I don't really care about the music. I just want to hear crazy stories.
Oh, me too. I should start a podcast.
You should. You
gotta harvest those.
That's right, and sanction them out and give them to people everywhere. On a different podcast too.
Yep.
You can't show all your cards. So you mentioned Cody, and he is a huge part of Shannon and the Clams.
Oh yes.
Integral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be called Shannon, Cody, and the Clams.
And
really.
Then what if the Clams just brings more stuff to an album? Then it's Shannon and Cody and whoever else are the Clams, and then
Nate
the Clams?
and Will and the Clams. I mean, that would be funny, and they'd probably love that because they do contribute a lot. At this point, we like songwriting goes slightly different than it used to. Like, it's still me and Cody are writing the songs. Like, I write a song, I bring it to Cody, and then he figures out if we should change up the actual structure or not. And I do the same for songs he writes. We like work on each other's music, and then we kind of solidify what do you freaking call it? I can't, my memory doesn't work
Taxi
today.
driver.
Yeah, Taxi Driver. And then we send copies of that to Will and Nate, and then they listen to it and figure out what they'd like to add. But we used to just basically dictate exactly what we wanted, like our old drummer Ian to play or whatever. But then Nate and Will are awesome and they can play everything. So it's fun to get together and like hear all their different ideas, and that it's really fun working with all these guys. I like it a lot.
That's great. You gotta like who you're working with, or else it's I mean, what's that one band called? Super Underground. You might know them. The Eagles. They didn't like each other so much. So I've heard. You know, I think
Oh,
there was some bickering, which is kind of some backdoor information that I probably shouldn't have said here, but I
you're their
mean,
backdoor man.
yeah. Also for the Doors, I was also there. I was actually the backdoor man, which is the cover. I said, "Hey, you guys should cover this." That was my role in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. I've been around for a lot for quite a while. You know.
Yeah, you're way older than I thought you were.
Yes, but I coincidentally went to my buddy Ian's high school, and then he showed me you. So I'm just kind of been back and forth. You know, yeah.
Back to School, that's a good movie.
That is a good movie. I finally saw it recently for the first time. I love Rodney Dangerfield, and Sam Kinnison's in it, which is so interesting. And I haven't really seen a lot of movies that he's in, but he is in that. And the the main guy, what's his name? Rodney Dangerfield's son,
Something Mellon.
Melon.
Mellon, isn't that their last name? Wait, or is that the university they're going to? I don't remember. I haven't seen this movie since 1992, probably.
It's a good one. You should try it on for size again.
I just remember when he, is on the diving board and he does an amazing, beautiful, flip twirl kind of dive. And then he's the champion and he's really popular. And his son's like an awkward nerd man. And then he went back to school and that was a great movie.
It was a great movie. It was great. I liked it. 10 out of 10 for sure. Just because of Rodney's in it. And
Mm-hmm.
if you have Rodney Dangerfield in your movie, I mean, you're doing pretty well. That's what I
Yeah.
say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. but you went to you said that you went to school. Where was that again?
I went to California College of the Arts, CCA, in Oakland and San Francisco.
And what was your what was your major?
Illustration. So I have a BFA in illustration, and I also went for, what else did I do there? Metal arts, jewelry, metal arts.
So you're actually using your degrees. I mean, you're actually
Yeah.
like putting them
Yeah.
to what they're supposed to be brought to.
Roughly, yeah, thankfully. I mean, I think hopefully everyone who goes to college, like even if you don't end up doing exactly what you went to school for, hopefully you gather some life skills and figure out what you actually want to do by wasting all that money, by getting into debt,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah, it costs a lot. It costs
A lot.
I mean, I'm going to community college. It's like $400 a semester. Where am I supposed to get that cash from? It's hard.
I liked community college. If I wasn't busy and it wasn't COVID, I would probably take like pottery or like language class or something.
Do you speak any other languages?
I speak some Spanish and some German. I've been doing Duolingo for 232 days. Wait, hold on.
Check it. Yeah, let's make sure it's accurate.
It's important to me.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Come on, hurry, Duo. 229 days. I added some on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of days.
Well, I just decided instead of getting hella depressed during COVID that I would try to at least have some positive things to force myself to do. So I have been doing that every day and I'm teaching myself how to play guitar because I only play bass. And that's been fun.
Wow. So on the next record that you play on, whatever it may be, do you think that you'll bring your guitar skills into it?
No. Because they're terrible skills. And all three boys in the band are like shredders, mega shredders. So they don't need me. And I can only play one rhythm, which is, limiting. But who knows? Maybe I'll become amazing next year or something.
Well, we'll see you next year, right?
Yeah.
We'll see just bass.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the new Bill and Ted movie that just came out recently? Yeah, that was Death's album. It was all bass.
It was so cool. He was definitely the best part of the movie. The movie had some hee-hees and ha-has. Definitely also had some like I don't feel like watching this anymore moments, but I don't know. I actually thought Bill was really good.
Yeah,
I thought he was like still very Bill. I mean, maybe Ted, Keanu maybe has grown out of that character a little bit with all his fancy acting and shit, but
I don't watch
Bill's
anything else besides Bill and Ted and Point Break. That's it. Those are the two.
for you, that's it.
But that's it. I don't know anything else. I heard that he was in some other stuff. Blah 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 blah. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's Point Break and Bill and Ted for me.
River's Edge is before those.
I told you where I jump in. I told you where I stand on this.
All right, I understand.
No,
I won't sway you.
what's really funny about Point Break? I was with my grandma and my brother one time in a Goodwill. This is years ago, and Point Break was there. It was like for like $2. I was like, Nana, you gotta watch this movie. You gotta watch this movie. It's great. And she's like, all right, and she loves it. She loves Point Break.
Oh, I love to hear that.
We got her to watch it, and she loves it. Still, she saw the new one, and she said, "Did you see the new one?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I don't like it." I said, "Me neither." Because if it doesn't have Patrick Swayze, it doesn't have Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Mr. Keanu, I'm kind of out.
Yeah, I understand. My mom loved Point Break, but I think she loved it because she really loved Swayze's highlights in his hair, and she loves his butt.
He has a great head of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like frosted,
Yeah, but not too much, because you see that sometimes, like, it's all right. Like, you're kind of overdoing it,
Yeah, especially down in the OC. You guys got a lot of over frosting down there.
Yeah. I finally washed mine out today, so it's funny that you mentioned that. So
Me too.
I'm back to normal.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So Shannon, you've been playing for how long now with the Clams? How long has this been going on for?
Well, I don't know what's going on. I mean, time is but a construct, right? But I think it's been a long time. In my mind, it's always like 5 years, but no, I think it's like 13 years or something.
Wow.
I know.
That's a good chunk of change right there.
You know what I hate? One of the things I hate the most about social media is fans who call me mom. It makes me so uncomfortable because I am not their mom. I'm a baby, and I don't know. I don't really know what that means. And just stop saying it, youth, please.
To the youth, that's your message to the youth. Stop calling me mom. It's important.
That's right.
How often does that happen that it's a problem?
I mean, anytime I post anything on Instagram, someone goes, "Mom," and tags someone else.
That shit didn't happen on MySpace. I'll tell you that right now.
No, you're right. Dead right.
But wow, 13 years. That's insane. What do you remember what the first show was with at least Cody?
The first show with Cody? Yes, actually I do. We got invited to play a show in Napa, my hometown, where, I was complaining about it earlier. And as soon as we show up, the party gets busted up, so we don't get to play. They move us around town like 3 times to different places to try and play.
That same night?
Yes.
When were you scheduled to go on the first time? Like, this is nighttime, yes?
I don't know, probably 7.
Okay, so that's kind of enough time. Sure.
Sleepy Town. And we end up at this bar called the Old Adobe, because it's I think it's the oldest still standing building in Napa. It's made of adobe, and the ceilings, like, you scrape your head if you're tall like me. And we played in there. That was the first time with Cody.
And that was the third place, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it went well, yeah?
No. I mean, by that time, everyone was tired of like following us place to place. So by then we had like 10 friends there. But yeah, no, we had fun. I mean, I'm sure I drank a lot of PBR or like a Mickey's bomb or something. Enjoyed myself.
PBR, still great. Still great.
I haven't had it in a while.
Debatable. It didn't sound like you were on my side with that, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, beer makes me feel crappy, and I think I got really sick of it because it just reminds me of the first 20 shows I played in bars where I didn't even know I was supposed to get paid, even though they were collecting money. Or like DIY shows where they're collecting money, just always thinking like, oh, must be for bills, or like, for their PA or whatever. And just getting like 2 free PBRs instead of paid, and then finding out that the dudes in bands got paid, So I fucking hate PBR because of that.
Oh, they are a sponsor as well. But it's fine. We'll edit that out. It's fine. Love you, PBR.
Yeah.
With your schmedium cans. Like
Mm.
the in between, like not the regular guys, not the tall boys, but in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen that.
Well, we're gonna send you some because we get it
Okay.
for free.
Can you ask PBR if they make tequila?
They, I don't think they make tequila, but I was with another buddy, Ralphie. Shout out Ralphie Garcia. He doesn't listen to this though, so. Actually, this is gonna be the test. If he did listen to it, he'll say, "Hey, thanks for the shout out." But we were in a coffee shop in LA, and Monster Children magazine. Have you heard of this? It's like a music, skate, art magazine. I don't know how many times it comes out per year, but
I was imagining like the National Enquirer with Batboy, the like ongoing Batboy saga. That's what I thought you meant.
Sure, that too. But,
like he got a spin-off magazine.
No, but I'll try to get in contact with them, and we'll see what we can do about that. It sounds like an interesting premise. But whatever. We were in the coffee shop, and there was one of those magazines, and I was just kind of flipping through it, waiting for my coffee, and I saw that Pabst makes a whiskey, and it's clear. It's a clear whiskey.
Why? I mean,
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, it doesn't sound good, especially since their beer is not clear. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know why it is clear.
And I was like, am I reading that right? Whiskey? And then I handed it to Ralph. He's like, yep, that is. So we've been on the hunt for that. One day we'll find it. If it is ever available, I will try it because it's been on the back of my mind since I've seen it.
Yeah, send me up a case, okay?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna have to edit the first part out, but then we'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you.
So tell me about when was if you could recall, what was the first tour you went on? Like, what year was it? How far along were you in the band?
Oh gosh, I think it was 2009. I could be freaking wrong though. It could be 2008. First tour. Are you talking about like real tour, or like does like 3 shows to the Northwest count?
Let's do 3 shows first. I want to hear about that, and then the first legitimate tour.
Okay. So we went on a tour to Portland from Oakland, and we had no idea what we were doing. It was just me, Ian, and Cody at the time. And we road tripped and like, swam in any river we saw on the way up, which was pretty fun. And Ian, our drummer, was like, I gotta save money. I can't spend money on this. So he brought a huge duffel bag of, and I'm not joking, you should fact check this because it'll blow your mind that it's true. He thought bringing a giant sack of canned fish would save him money. So he would like crack open sardines and gag while eating them, like on Wassa crackers, thinking that was like a good thing for the band. But it stunk up our rental. It smelled so bad. Also, he had these Keen, the first time I'd ever seen Keen sandals.
Keen sandals.
Yeah, they're not cool enough for Orange County, but they're like,
no, yeah, or else I would know about them. I mean, I'm on the pulse of it.
Yeah, they're like rubbery hippie leather sandals with like a big rubber toe. Anyway, they smelled really bad.
Sick.
And so we were in this rental, which none of us could afford, and stunk it up with like fish and crazy foot stench. and we went to Olympia and played 2 really fun shows there. And then it was so fun that the first people from the House of Red were like, oh no, Phoenix House, we're like, you've got to come back on your way back down and play another show. So we spent like a week up in Portland and Seattle. We hung out with Cody's family. His dad set up our Portland show, which was at a rockabilly auto garage called God, what was it called? Like Duffy's. So his dad set it up, who's like bluesgrass, like a Metal Hammer, or not Metal Hammer, that's a magazine. Blues Hammer kind of dude. He set up our show. And
Sick. How did that go?
It was good. All his friends came. So it was cool. And
did they enjoy it? What did you find like, oh yeah, like they'll probably enjoy this?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think they liked seeing, his name's Herb. I think they liked seeing Herb's son rock. And definitely some people telling me that I could just sing and some other dude could play bass instead. Because they're all rockers. They're all like really good, like bluegrass guitar players and blues daddies and stuff. So seeing me, who like I would forget what fret I'm supposed to be on for a song I wrote like every day, you know, it's probably really annoying to see someone like me fumble around on stage at a rockabilly bar. But then after that, we went back to Olympia, and they forgot that we were playing a show. So no one came, and we just ate and, you know, drank alcohol and partied. And then we drove to LA and we got skunked on our first night there.
Wait, I'm sorry, did you say skunked?
Oh, yeah. So we met some people at our show that were like, oh, you can crash at our house. And we're like, okay, sounds good. So we went and stayed at their house. They had hella dogs, 4 dogs, 5 dogs, 6 dogs, something like that, like a pile of dogs. And in the morning, suddenly we heard all this like growling and barking, and then the dogs blasted in through the back door, jumped all over us in our sleeping bags, whimpering. So they'd attacked a skunk, and it skunked the dogs, and the dogs got into our beds.
Oh.
And so then we stank like skunk for, you know, the rest of our tour. And we'd have to apologize on stage and be like, I'm really sorry, we got skunked. We don't know what to do about the smell. And they'd be like, oh, you know, acknowledging that they understood what the stench was.
Wow. So how long did it last? How long did it last after you got skunked? The smell?
I don't know. My mind just naturally exaggerates. So what I want to say is 3 weeks, but it was probably more like 5 or 6 days.
Let's keep it 3 weeks. That sounds better.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 weeks.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was bad.
So
and it's really like, have you been skunked?
No, I think me and skunks have like a personal like deal. It's like, hey man, like you do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing, and we're just gonna go our separate ways. That's how it's been thus far. But we'll see if I get betrayed. I could very well be betrayed.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's just I've only come across them like 4 or 5 times. It's like, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. Like, oh, whatever. I'll be walking out of the car, you know, to my house, and I'll just be like, all right, you know, whatever.
They're very cute.
I don't look at them very often. It's like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it's like kind of making eye contact with somebody you don't want to see, and you're like, just pay them acknowledgement. You're just like, you know.
Okay. Yeah. You should Google skunk babies after this call, so you can really get a good look at them, because that's a good looking critter. They're real.
I'll check them out.
Yeah.
So that was the first tour, and then what was the first tour though?
So that was kind of a nightmare tour. We went on tour with this other band, and it was just kind of like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Like, and we were really different style bands. Like, they were like this really cool, like post-punk queer, you know, more ecology kind of band. And we were like, at the time, more of like gross surf punk oldies kind of band, and just like had really like they would book a show and then I would book a show. So my shows I thought actually were somewhat successful, and their shows were less successful, even though they'd been on tour a lot. And it was just like a big clashing, and lots of personal drama within their group that they were kind of taking out on us, and especially me. I don't know. There was a lot of swimming on that trip, which was good. But
I didn't know you went on tour with the Rolling Stones. That's crazy. I mean, I know you're
we
trying to
did.
not say the name, but I mean,
You can tell. You can tell.
yeah.
I know. There's no hiding that fact. But
No.
they've apologized to me several times since then, so it's okay. But all the tours since then have been much, much better. I'll tell you my favorite moment from that tour, though.
Please.
We went to Milwaukee, and we went to this science center, and they had a sturgeon petting tank. So I will never eat a sturgeon now that I've pet one. So you can put your hands in their water tank, and they swim up to you and just like squeeze their bodies against your hand, and you kind of like squish them or tickle them like a dog or something. And oh my God, it was like such a cool experience.
So you will go back eventually to that.
And now, oh yeah, I've been
Very
back,
nice.
but the sturgeon weren't there, or maybe the aquarium part was closed. Maybe that's it. Anyway, if you ever get the opportunity to tickle a sturgeon, I say do it.
All right. And that's not just for me, that's for the tens of viewers
Yep.
that are listening to this. So, I mean, so after that, who were some like notable acts that you've played with throughout touring, playing shows? Like who are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm on the same bill as this person.
Because I was like amazed by their performance, or because they're famous and I look up to them or something?
All of the above.
All of the above. I've played with Ronnie Spector twice, and was a really, really big deal to me. She still sounds incredible. Yeah. We actually got asked to tour with them in Europe, but they wouldn't share any gear, and our guarantee wouldn't even like pay gas. So we're like, definitely not, but sounds cool. Yeah, we played with the Zombies, and that was really great. We played a couple sets before them on the same stage, and I ate mushrooms, and for some reason the stage manager let me on the stage to watch them, and that was definitely like a special moment. Who else? I love seeing Bloodshot Bill play. I don't know if you've ever heard him or seen him before, but he's definitely like an insane performance, like solo, when he does his solo thing. It's very like, oh, this should be this is special and should be like bottled and saved forever. And then 2 years ago with my solo band, I opened for John Prine, and that was like
Wow.
Amazing. I didn't even know much about his music, which I know like would probably piss a lot of huge Prine heads off. But I became a Prine head that night. I mean, like, I knew his hits, and actually sang backups on stage for one song.
Wow.
But like I had this moment when he was playing where all the lights came down except for on him, and his band is like cloaked in darkness. And are you a Prine head?
I am not, but I mean, I'm how you were that night. You know, it's just some, not all of the discography. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But anyways, please continue with the story, because I mean, some people might know. But
Yeah.
I'm still interested. I'm still in it.
Okay.
I'm with you here.
Well, he played this song, which now the Prine heads hate me again because I can't remember what it's called, but it's about like growing old, and it's like likening yourself to becoming an oak tree. And I could just like really hear every single lyric and just understand um the specialness of his like two crafts coming together, like poetry and music, and really feeling stunned. And I was like standing in the middle of an aisle at a seated theater and started crying. And then at the end of his set, he throws his guitar on the ground, and he's tiny. This guy's super tiny, and he's passed away from COVID this year, which is really sad, but he's like survived cancer several times, and he was definitely like a fighter kind of guy. But throws his acoustic guitar on the ground, does a little dance, like a little fucking woodland gnome dance around the guitar, and dances off stage, and that's the end of his set. That's it. You don't see him again. It's over.
What a
It
way
was
to,
just
to end it.
so cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. So like nobody really in particular special that you've played with is what I gathered from that. No, that's a lot of opportunities. You've obviously played in Europe, right?
Yeah,
In other
several
parts.
times.
What the first time you went there, was it on a tour, or was it for pleasure, or?
Actually, the first time I went to Europe, I was 19, and I got this really weird scholarship to go to Italy to study art for like 3 weeks. I just had to replicate Monet's Water Lilies. Do you know that painting?
I believe so. Yeah, isn't that one on in the Met, right? That the original of that?
I don't know.
I could be dead wrong, and that'd be fine too. So nobody's
Yeah.
gonna fact check me. I don't fact check myself on this. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I've seen that painting in the Met.
You've seen it.
I've
You've
seen
seen
it.
it somewhere. Anyway, so I had me and a couple other students that were trying to get this scholarship had to recreate it and paint it the size of basically a wall in a gallery. So it was like 25 feet. Well, it was massively tall. We had to paint it on what's that shit you climb on to like work on a belt? Scaffolding. We had to like paint on scaffolding and stuff. And yeah, our little group won this scholarship. So I went to Italy and got to study stuff out there. Some stuff.
Just some
really
stuff.
Cool.
Just
Yeah.
some stuff. Whatever. Yeah. No, that was here though that you had to replicate the Monet. That was in the States, and then you got the opportunity to go to Italy because of that. That's what you said. Okay, gotcha. So you liked Italy, yeah, or no?
I liked it, but definitely at the time I was probably too immature. Like I probably should have gone when I was older, but I had a great time. I loved it. I love Italy so much. I wish we could play there more often. I mean, I love touring Europe. I love touring the UK very much. I especially love France and Spain. Yeah.
What's the weirdest place you played out of the country?
Out of the country?
Yeah. And then following that up within the country as well.
Weird. You said weird, right?
Yeah, just like non-conventional. Like oh wow, like this is where we're playing, or this is what happened.
Well, I played in Sweden. It's a thing to like play on a boat. Sweden and France. So I don't know how weird that is. But then we've played at like dance clubs at Spain at like 5 a.m. because those people party hard. We played in Tasmania. This is my other band, Hunx and Punx. We played in Tasmania on some scaffolding on the side of a building.
And you're like, you know what? I could paint a mean Monet on this.
Yeah.
On this backdrop. You said 5 in the morning?
Yes.
In the AM.
They eat dinner at 10 p.m. and then they take speed and drink alcohols, and then they go out dancing. So yeah, things are like getting started at 2.
That's when things are starting to rev up.
So we're headlining at like 5, and
wow.
I'm a granny these days. So
was that
actually,
the earliest?
That's not true, because me and my boyfriend started watching Survivor, and it's so exciting that I'm up till like 2:30 in the morning every night watching Survivor. I got to see who gets, voted out.
You're like, you know what? I got to take some speed. Let's go to a club
Yeah.
and let me get amped up for 5.
Yeah.
um,
Exactly.
was that the earliest you ever played a show? 5 in the morning.
Yes.
Definitely just across the board.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. And how was the reaction to this club? And I mean, it was with the music that you were playing, was it different than what was being played prior to, or was it a show? Did you say it was like a whole festival kind of thing?
It was an after party. So we played the festival earlier in the day. Actually, this was a pretty amazing thing that we played. We played a festival that was at an abandoned like roller coaster park in San Sebastian, Spain. So it's like on top of that, the highest peak there. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's like insanely beautiful, and you just like overlook this amazing bay. And anyway, we played, I can only remember that Jay Mascis played. It was like a Dinosaur Jr. reunion maybe. And we played that, and then we played the after party, which was, so everyone's just like a weird zombie and they just want music. So they're not like, fuck yeah, Shannon and the Clams. They're like, music must move, that kind of a thing. It was cool.
And were you drinking, I'm assuming, before the after party, right?
I can't really drink. I can't like party before I perform because I'll do a bad job. And I'm a professional, so I have to, I used to not care. But now I do care. And I like blow out my voice if I'm like in an altered state. And when I blow out my voice, then I like don't do well at shows, and it messes up my self-esteem, and then I can't give a good performance, and it's just annoying.
Yeah, I can only imagine. How do you remedy that? Like, I mean, and how many times have you dealt with that while on a tour? That
Almost every tour I've ever been on, except for the last 3 years, I've been taking really good care of my voice. But before that, I would usually lose my voice once or twice every tour, and it's horrible. It's embarrassing, and people are mad or sad because they really want to hear me sing. And like Cody's a great singer too, and Will's a great singer, but it's like, you don't get to really hear my songs the way I want you to hear them. So it's disappointing, and it's hard, and it's sometimes it's scary because it's like, how long will this last, not having any voice? And it's just annoying. But now that I take better care of myself and I warm up my voice, I never used to do that before. I can't go from like, 6 PBRs and like smoking menthols, which I don't smoke, but I can't do that and then go to stage and like go from 0 to 10, like screaming, shrieking anymore, like when I was a youth.
Yeah. You mentioned that it happened like sometimes twice in a tour, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it would go out, and then would it be back at 100 just to go out again? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, would you recuperate to the full 100 and then it would go out, or would you be at like 50, 60 and then it would go out
So
again?
if it would go out twice, it's because I like was pushing myself way too hard, because I wanted to force it to come back, which is just not how it works. So like I usually wake up in the morning after a show and I'm like, oh fuck, I lost my voice. Like I can tell immediately, just the feeling, and then it gives me anxiety, which like probably feeds into all of it and makes it worse. So anyway, then that night if I'm being responsible, I'll be like, you know what, you guys, I have to just sing these few songs. We have got to do more Cody songs tonight. I can't belt it out. But back in the day when I would lose it multiple times, I would just keep forcing myself. So maybe it would start to come back and then I'd blow it out and then I'd lose it again.
Oh my gosh, that's the
It
vicious
sucks.
cycle. Yeah. Wow.
It is.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What was the absolute best show in your opinion, or a really, really great show that you could recall that you played on, and the absolute worst show you ever played?
I'll tell you the worst show was recently in Marin County. We were excited because it was like a really good guarantee. It was a venue we've never played. We never play Marin, which is like weird because it's so close by, but it's like a very wealthy, kind of more hippie area. And so we were like, wow, they're going to pay us that much money to come out here. Like, that's exciting. And the promoters just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but no one came. There was only other people and other bands there. But we were the headliner, but the other bands were from Sacramento, which I don't know how to explain that. Like, Orange County, I guess that would be like if the headliner was coming from Bakersfield or something.
Yeah,
It's
I
like a
understand.
town that's really far, and there's not enough of a scene in Marin, at least with these promoters. They're not tapped in or something. But the only people that came was, I had one friend come, and then other people in the bands. But the other bands, I don't know, they didn't like us. They were like a rap rock band that dressed like clowns, and it was not ironic, it was like genuine. And they left her after their set, so it was like just us and our one friend, and we didn't get paid. And it was just like, this feels like this should have happened to us like 10 years ago, not last year.
Yeah, it turned
So
out to be
that was,
ICP, right? That was ICP that played.
it was ICP. Yeah, it was ICP. I thought they were gonna be nicer guys, but they
Yeah, you would think with all that fuego in their system.
weren't. Yeah.
Wow,
And then
that's great. And that was with the Clams.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that was with the Clams. That was a sad one. And then best show, I would say, like, basically the last 5 times we've played the Burger Boogaloo were just super magical, RIP. But it was just like amazing to actually play in Oakland, which we never get to do anymore. Back, when I was still living there, it was really special to, like, I know a lot has gone down in the burger world, but that doesn't change the magic that was happening at our shows at the festival.
Right.
Like, I always encourage, like, women to stage dive, and for people to protect them in the audience when they're being passed around. And, like, it's just awesome to see it happen and see people that are way too scared to try it and succeed. And, like, feels good to see people, like, singing along. And it's like, I don't know, I that is always like a really super special thing to me. Oh, okay, I got something else. We played Mexico City 2 years ago, and I was super worried because we were playing at the same time as Sparks, who is one of my favorite bands. And I was so sad because I was missing Sparks. And I thought that everyone that would maybe want to see us would definitely be watching Sparks instead, because I know I would be. And I was wrong. I mean, Sparks had a lot of people, but we had a massive crowd. I couldn't even believe it. I just wanted to cry the whole time I was on stage, because people were, like, singing along, and just all these smiling faces. It just, I loved playing Mexico City. That was incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah, it seems like, I mean, because even following other bands and, like, seeing, like, what their tours are like, it seems like there's a huge number of people that show up to gigs in Mexico just alone. Like, people just love music there.
Yeah, it's, like, very supportive, positive. I mean, I only played there the one time, but it was just I don't know, there was not a lot of other shows that just felt that good, and it's hard to explain, because we've played lots of really packed, crowded, super fun, beautiful shows before, tons, but there just something felt different about playing in Mexico City, and I don't know why. Maybe it's like hearing people sing along, like, in an accent, like, somehow something about your song, about your lyrics, like, cut through, And I don't know, it felt very beautiful and
Yeah,
special.
that sounds killer. I mean,
I
that's
can't
awesome.
wait to go back.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get on the horn with them. Just
Thank
everybody down
you.
there. Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
That actually, oddly enough, was called Corona Capital and was Corona sponsored. And that's not me joking around.
And that's not going to be in this because, as I said before, Paps is the sponsor of this. So we can't be mentioning Corona.
Cut it, cut it, cut it.
No, that's awesome. What was the last show that you played,
Mm.
if you could remember?
Yes, I can remember. The last show I played was December 15th, I think, at Bimbo's 365 Club, which is like the most incredible club in all ever. I mean, I really can't think of a club that I love more. I love Bimbo's in San Francisco. Have you ever been there?
I've never been to that club. No.
Oh my God. If you ever see a cool show going on there, it's so worth the trip. But anyways, my solo band played, and they decorated it for Christmas for us, and my roommate Mary dressed up like Santa, and we did a Santa picture corner, and there was like a Toys for Tots like giveaway, and that was a great night. That was definitely like a I don't know, great last show to have for a while, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds awesome. Yeah. Well, Shannon. No, please go ahead. Please finish.
Oh, I was just gonna say the last show I went to
Yeah, that's also a
was
good question.
amazing. It was Combo Chimbita. Have you heard them?
No.
Oh my God,
Where are they
that's
based out of?
New York.
And how do you say it again? Say it one more time.
Combo Chimbita.
Combo and Beats. Okay. All right.
It's so good. You should definitely check it out. But they played Pappy and Harriet's.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and some friends rented a cabin out there basically 2 weeks before the first lockdown. And, feeling very innocent and without a care in the world. That's what we were doing up until then. And we think 3 of us actually had COVID, which is sad to think about now because I went to this show sick.
Yeah. So you already had it?
Yeah, we think we already had it. Not positive, but pretty sure. I only had like a really light cold and I didn't feel that bad, which is why I felt okay with going to a show. And then my boyfriend was sick for weeks. So that kind of tells me that could have been it. And I'd been flying around a bunch because I just recorded a new Clams album in Nashville, and then I flew from Nashville to LA, and then we got our little cabin, and then the world shut down.
Yeah. Thanks, Pappy and Harriet's. No, but that's good. Yeah. I miss shows and seeing music. You're a music fan, right?
Yeah. No, I dabble.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I got some bands you should try out. Yeah.
I love live music.
Live music.
Mm.
Live Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Those nice guys at Ticketmaster.
Oh yeah. Great company.
Great company sponsor of the podcast. Yeah. Shannon, it was such a pleasure talking to you, and I need to get you back on if you would like to do it. It's up to you.
Totally.
I know it didn't go very well, but
I feel like it was a success, raging success.
Rage Against the Machine, right?
Yeah, another great band.
Bulls on Parade, etc.
That's right.
But Shannon, before I stop recording this, can you promote and plug whatever you want to plug and promote? That was a dramatic pause. It's for emphasis.
What do I want to plug? Survivor. You guys should start checking out the television show. It's called Survivor. It's very good. We watch it on Hulu nightly, about 6 episodes. Also support small businesses at this time, and please wear a mask so I can go back to doing normal shit and hang out with my family and my friends. That's what I want to promote.
And you have a band camp, right? As well?
I don't think so.
No band camp? You got the MySpace. Shannon and the Clams on Instagram. Shannon Shaw on Instagram as well. For you,
Corn dog log.
sorry, corn dog log rather. But you could search Shannon Shaw and it'll come up, correct?
It will? I have
It
no
will.
idea.
It will.
I don't need to do that. I don't
I'm
know.
telling you. And stop calling her mommy on
Yeah,
on
do not
Instagram.
call me mom. I hate it.
And is there any other like albums that the people should be buying right now of yours, of any of your projects?
Well, my solo project is pretty different and good. It's just called Shannon in Nashville. And yeah, Clams, we recorded a new album. I don't know when it's coming out, but it'll come out soon. And then you should buy it because us musicians we are suffering and like desperate for, we all miss like our artistic outlet, of course, and like being with people because we're social creatures, but also it's our job,
Sure, absolutely. And that will be promoted through Instagram, so keep an eye on that, right?
Yeah.
And merch, you guys got merch, right? You're making merch?
Oh yeah, I've got a shop called shoot.
This is what I was trying to get out
I don't
3
know.
minutes ago.
It's called go to shop.shannaclams.com and then our online shop is there. But actually I made a calendar this year that is actually, I would buy it if I didn't, if I wasn't me, I would definitely go out and buy it because it's pictures of me and all the clams posing with our different cars that we like, weird stuff. I'm on a bulldozer on one. I'm on a four-wheeler. I'm on an old scary truck, and the boys are on various vehicles. And I've got some pages in there for you to record all the things you're looking forward to in 2021 and lessons you've learned and things like that for 2020. It's good.
Awesome. So check that out. I'm sure there's a band camp. Check them out on YouTube. Check out Shannon's solo project. Get that calendar. Get to that shop. And Shannon, it was a pleasure. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one.
I'm not going to say goodbye yet, but I'm going to stop recording.
Okay.
All right. So bye for now.
Okay, bye for now.